your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
Mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
Throw your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
Mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
You got
What is y'all, your social media platform artist and the host of the great YouTube channel. I'm your host, your one and the only Dr. Do here, everybody. How are we on this wonderful Friday evening right here, y'all? Today's video, I'm going to give you guys some history right here, y'all. I'm going to give you guys something amazing right here, y'all. You guys like World War II history? I'm going to give you guys this one right here, y'all. Today's video, I want to talk about this specific question about what happened in World War II with Germany. Why did Germany fail to take over the Soviet Union? We need to talk about that because everybody questioning about what really happened back in World War II when Hitler invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, when there was a non-aggression pact that with the Soviet Union and Germany signed back in 1939, just before invading Poland back in 1939, starting World War II right here, y'all. And y'all want to know about why did Hitler and Germany fail to take over the communist nation of Soviet Union, and what caused them to have such reckless decisions they have made. All right. So before we get started, if you guys new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit notification down below, comment down below, see what you guys think about my opinion about my thoughts about Germany lost the invasion with Soviet Union. And also, thank you all so much for helping me. We 10K followers on TikTok, y'all. We had done it 4 years, growing right here, y'all. We had done a good job of reaching 10K on TikTok. I want to thank y'all so much for this awesome day right here, y'all. This Friday is amazing right here. Y'all, so you guys want Dr. Do merch? Go to Cotton Bureau to get you guys Dr. Do merch, like drinkware, hatware, shirtwares, to represent this community and this channel right here, y'all. Y'all, to get you guys hoodie and jacket for winter, alright, y'all? You guys want something good to drink right here? Go to Beach Hard to get you guys either hydration, energy, focus, or protein for your body right here, either at school, at work, or at the workout too, you know. This will be good for your health right here, y'all. And so without further ado right here, let's get this party started. So we all here need to know about this, alright? So in 1941, Hitler planned on wanting to spend his whole entire empire in the East for many reasons: resources, agricultural, and also expanding the Aryan race as well. So in 1941, he launched the invasion of Operation Barbarossa. Alright, y'all. This invasion will be considered a failure right here, y'all, because there's many reasons for this. Alright? And you guys want to know why right here. First off, in resources. Alright? In 1940, there's the whole entire thing for the whole entire German military and for Hitler. The reason for their success of invading all the nations is blitzkrieg. It means that they use speed and advantages to use against the unprepared military force. Many times that Germany used this blitzkrieg either on France, on Poland, on Austria, Denmark, alright, Belgium as well, and Netherlands. They use speed at their biggest advantage right here, y'all. Alright, and then I want to know what else could have weakness for this. Well, to tell you the truth, alright, Hitler was planning on invading the Soviet Union in 1 month, just like he did with the whole entire Polish army when he invaded Poland back in September 1st, 1939. But the only reason for him to winning because Soviet Union helped them. Alright, that's how fast they invaded Poland, by having them both fight together. But with the Soviet Union, it'd be difficult right here, y'all, because resources what get them the edge of quickness, alright? But however, when their blitzkrieg is starting to slow them down, they will have many problems because of the because they don't have that much ammunition, not that much gasoline, because they were meant for everything they meant their plan against the Soviet was speed and quickness and take them out very fast. But without the blitzkrieg, they will be in a very slow and big disadvantage as well, because without the speed they use against the Soviet Union, the Soviet will use that as an advantage against the Germans that are not really prepared for a long battle at all, because they never planned out to fight in a long battle against the Soviet Union. So they started to have problem of getting some gasoline for their tanks, ammunition for their guns, and also coats, because they're not planning on being in Russia that long, because they are trying to get out of Russia before winter in Russia hits them. All right, y'all. Which is making a big huge problem of taking on Moscow, because the Soviet Union and Germany fought each other in the Battle of Moscow for until October. All right, from October until January in 1942, which the Soviet Union used their counterattack against the Soviet German army, and also taking the advantage against their weak position and their tactics against them. So it led to them failing the battle of Operation Barbarossa. Alright, y'all? Another problem right here is armies. Alright? In the beginning of the Operation Barbarossa, Hitler launched over 3.8 million German forces, and also consist of other foreign militaries such as the Italians, the Romanians, the Hungarians as well, that took part of the invasion of Operation Barbarossa and the invasion and all the rest of the Eastern European campaign as well. But shortly after launching the invasion, at first that the German army were doing great with size and also advantages against the Soviet Union, but over time, German army starting to have poor advantages much longer when they are starting to fight the Soviet. All right. By winter, they had gotten worse for them. All right, because usually German soldiers were not prepared to fight in winter battle against the Soviet Union, because the German army and their allies didn't have coats to wear in battle, so they had to use coats from the dead Russian soldier in hopes of taking on them head on in the Western winter. And also there have been a lot of problems of that in the invasion, because at that time you had Hitler try to transfer some German forces out of the Eastern European front to fight in the other campaigns, such like the invasion of North Africa against the British and the American allies over there as well. And they had to take some of them to Eastern Europe to get them ready against the whole entire invasion by the Allies somewhere in France. You know what I mean? And so, with their forces starting deteriorating as well, including most of their soldiers in 1942 at the Battle of Stalingrad, of the 300,000 they had, of the 300,000, they only managed to have 90,000 survive the Battle of Stalingrad. And also, starvation was starting to hit to them as well, because they didn't have enough food for them in battle against the Soviets as well. And for that, you started to see a lot of starvation going on in the whole entire military, which led to them have no choice but to either surrender themselves or to retreat out of Russia before another winter hits them. And throughout the whole entire the campaign, their forces began to decrease day by day. All right, due to all the things that Soviet were hitting them. All right. Next, we get to the other one that would make a lot of sense. Right? Well, their tactics. All right, what the Soviet used against the Germans is a tactic that was the German army were not prepared for, right? Such as like tactics such as move the manufacturers, move their factories or their military manufacture places somewhere else, further away from either from Moscow or like places like Serbia, for example, to ensure for them to produce more tanks and weapons against them. All right. Another thing about that is that the Russians used a tactic against them, like fake retreat, so like what happened in about Stalingrad, for example. Like at that time, the Germans thought they were winning against them by putting the whole entire Soviet Union out of the Stalingrad across the Volga River. Which, however, one of the generals of the Soviet Union used this at a vantage point by entrapping the whole entire Sixth Army German forces in Stalingrad, causing them to either fight in the urban warfare or in broken houses or factories, in order to cause them to have multiple deaths, but in order to including frostbite as well. And their tactic continued to, in order they use other tactics, so that they're burning their whole entire village in order to prevent the Germans from resting or hide out in those villages. They had to burn them and destroy their crops and their resources in order for the Germans to not use them to fight against the Soviet Union, which is a good tactic for the Russian uses. Right, they did it before against the Napoleon army when the Russian Empire was still reigning over the country. Alright? And then also by using multiple counter-retreat tactics to make the Germans think they are in a good position of winning as well. And also by using the German pride at an advantage for the Russians. They want to make sure their pride is high enough to think they are winning, and then counter-attacking the Germans and make them realize that they're not winning at all, in order to making Germany look like fools as well. By that, it caused the whole entire German forces to either abandon or retreat out of the Russian nation. All right, and finally, another big tactic that with the Soviet Union always used in battle, and not the whole entire nation used this one advantage against Germany. That would be weather. All right, the winter itself, because Russia, when it comes to invading Russia, you know what the weapon that Russia use against their enemies? Winter. All right. Consider the fact that Russia is considered one of the most coldest places on Earth, having temperature go low at minus 13 degrees and not lower than minus 13. All right. Get what I mean? With the Germans are not in a good position against winter itself, because Russian winter is so scary, and it's so scary to go out there during the winter in Russia. All right, imagine you're a German soldier during winter. You are freezing your butt out right here, y'all. All right, you see your arm and face starting to blacken over yourself because of frostbite. All right, you see your whole entire skin and realizing that this is how scary it is to be in the winter season. All right, in the Russian winter. And using that tactics, they use that tactic against German tanks, because in order for the tank to move, they use its gas. But however, when winter hits them, their tanks and the gasoline in their tank will freeze into ice, like plain ice, which is not a good thing at all for Germany, because if the gas turns off ice, that means it's useless. The tank is useless. They can't use the tank against the massive forces of the Soviet Union. Alright? And also, another thing about that, because Germany didn't have coats to prepare for the German army, because they never prepared for winter to hit them very bad, because they never repair. All right, speed was their only invented that Germany used. All right, but however, again, winter, not good for them. That's why over hundreds of thousands of Germans, soldiers, Italians, Romanians died from that climate. It eventually led to many criticism of the German military. All right, this was so disastrous that Germany never forgets that day. I mean, never forget why Russia never need to be touched. All right. And also, when it comes to other things such as tanks, because Germany can make more. Germany and Russia, when it comes to tank advantages, I say that Russia has better manufacturing advantage against Germany because Russia can make more tanks and replacing the older tanks in battle for some new tanks like the T-34A5s or the T-34s, or including the T-26 as well. They can produce massive tank manufacture all over Soviet Union. All right, but Germany had problem of manufacturing them. All right, they had not that much factories all over the nation. And also, it's hard for them to get some material as well because of blockade from Britain in the North Seas. All right, you also got Mediterranean being held by the British and American Navy as well. And so, the only place that had good enough metal to produce tanks is Soviet Union. All right, and also outnumbering German tanks 5-1 right here. Germany were not going to be. Germany, I'm gonna tell you, Germany never good at playing the whole entire plan out when it comes to fighting long battles. All right, and so you need to think about how deadly Russian tanks are. Why do you think the T-34A5 is considered the most deadliest tank in World War II for? All right, they had better speed and better armor than the other regular German Panzer tanks. All right, and so falling out of that, the Battle of Kursk too. You need to think about how deadly what the Battle of Kursk was. All right, tank on tank battle. All right, and basically Soviet shows why they have better tanks and more powerful advantage against Germany in the Battle of Kursk. All right, y'all, and this is and there you have it. This is the reason why Germany lost the invasion of Soviet Union right here, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope y'all have a great day. Please subscribe to the channel, hit notification down below, comment down below, see what you guys think about my opinion about this. And see you guys next time right here, y'all. Peace out.